Sustainability Unleashed Strategies for Achieving Net Zero
กลยุทธ์ยั่งยืนโลกสู่สังคมไทยคาร์บอนต่ำ
Keith Davies Partner Energy Resources and Chemicals Southeast Asia at Monitor Deloitte
So in terms of urgency for action, this is quite a busy slide, but Deloitte's done a global study, and I just wanted to zero in on the Asia Pacific and Southeast Asia and Thailand part of it. And it was an economic-based modelling exercise, and fundamentally it answered the questions or provided a perspective on if the right actions are taken on climate change, what's going to be the impact on economies, right? So how much extra GDP growth can the right actions on climate change deliver different countries and economies? And conversely, if no action's taken, what's the impact on countries, right? And very, very diverse sort of outcomes came out of that. So the cost of doing nothing, as you can see on that slide, this is for APAC. It's a huge number, $96 trillion by 2070, right? So that's the case of do nothing. We know do nothing is not really an option, but in terms of GDP impact, it's a phenomenal number. But the positive is if you put in place the right climate strategies, policies, frameworks, all these different things, climate change, sustainability agendas and initiatives can be a new engine for economic growth, and especially here in Asia Pacific and in Thailand. Also interesting, like I mentioned, this is a global study, is Asia Pacific has more to lose than anyone else, right? The amount of workforce that's impacted, the impact on economies is quite stark compared to the rest of the world. So we need to get it right because it's so important in this particular region. So this is drilling down a little bit more, a few more slides on what happens if we don't do enough, right? What's the impact? As I said, 75% of Asia-Pac's GDP would be at risk. 50% of the workforce would be at risk. Huge numbers. And you can see on the right-hand side of the slide, what does that mean? Why are they impacted? Impacted workers because, ambient temperatures are too high. Land isn't productive enough, and especially here in Thailand where agriculture is such a key part of the economy, that is something that would hit this country very hard as well. This is to break it down a little bit more in terms of which countries would suffer the losses the most, and you can see within Southeast Asia, 28 trillion. Thailand, second largest economy here in Southeast Asia. So roughly 14-15% of that is in Thailand. So very, very big numbers. They're hard to get your mind around. But the key messages are, if we don't do enough, dramatic impact on economies, on people's health and well-being going forward. And these are the industries as well that potentially are impacted. And the key headline is it impacts everyone, right? All of these key industries, public, private sector, retail and tourism. So again, if we think about Thailand, in terms of agricultural industry here is very large. Tourism is very large as well. So the impact on those two industries would be especially felt in Thailand.